Hey, you guys, how are you doing? Hope everybody's doing good. I decided to jump on just a little bit to talk about one of my things, probably end up talking about a couple of things that I have struggled with as a parent. Not necessarily struggle with, but that are interesting things that people don't always talk about as being parents. One of those things is um, your kids having friends that you don't like and how to deal with those friendships that they don't like. And the other part of that is them having friends that you like just fine, but not liking their parents. And just kind of how I have dealt with those situations. I know it sounds crazy because a lot of times people don't talk about that sort of thing. I am different than a lot of people that I hear talking about how I deal with friendships that I don't agree with or that I don't necessarily like that child for my kid as far as friendships. For different reasons. But let me first say I don't choose my kids' friends. Okay. Somebody's looking at this now is like, well, they're gonna do what I say do. Yeah. On some level, now I can control the rules. I control the rules around those friendships, like when I let them go, how I let them go, those different things. If it's an environment that their friend is in, I don't trust, then I don't let them go there. The friend can come here, that sort of thing. But I cannot pick their friends. And I don't try to pick their friends. I give them my advice on what I think about the friendship. And I usually use my own experiences. I'm sorry, y'all. The sun is coming through my bay window. Tough. But I try to use my experiences in friendships because I've had a lot of different, scenarios, and I was one of those people that had, a lot of friends just kind of through life. Um, Girlfriends are definitely different than having guys as friends. Um, there seems to be a lot more drama going on, but guys have their own dramas too. But so what I have done is I tell them what I think of the friendship and why I think what I think about the friendship, and then I just kind of plant that seed, and then I back up and let them make the decision about the friendship. Now with my kids, most of the time they come to the same conclusion. It takes them a while, but sometimes you have to point out stuff for people to notice it. I know all of us have maybe been in situations where we find out something and then we go back like, well, that's why this and that's why that. Well, it's the same thing with kids. It's like the more you try to pick for them, the more intrigued they are by this person. And I guess because I have taught my kids to be independent thinkers, it's a little different because I want them to think independently, but I want them to be wise in their dealings. That's one of my prayers with those kids regularly, that they're wise in their dealings. And so I want them to make their own choice, but I want them to have all the information that they need to make that choice, if that makes sense. So just kind of be careful because I know that my friends that had parents that were like, I'm picking your friends and I don't like them and da 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 da. That didn't stop them from being friends with those people or even dating those type of people. Whatever the case may be, they actually were more drawn and they just were sneaky with it. Um, I think that all kids will sneak and do stuff on some level. Um, but it's better when you're not as pushy, I guess. And like I said, I set rules around stuff. I do kind of make it kind of hard if I don't too much care for the friendship, but I don't say, well, you can't be friends with that person because I do realize that you really can't control that. Okay, they choose to be a friend with someone, they're gonna be friends with them. They're gonna find a way to do it. When I was in school, I had a young lady. Me and her were friends. It's elementary school, but her parents didn't like um, black people. And so, but she was friends with nothing but black people. And she had, African American babies. So that didn't help that they, wouldn't let black people come over or whatever those rules were, because they still were friends with us. She still was friends with us. And so that's part of it. Now, when you don't like the parent of the child, but you like the child just fine. But I'm the type of parent where I like to kind of, check with the other parent. Hey, is it okay if my kid comes over there, and that sort of thing. And if you don't like each other, I promise you guys, that is rough. Because in one of my experiences, I was like, hey, is it okay if my kid comes over? And it was like, and I had said, hey, did a wave, whatever. We don't talk. But, I was trying to speak. And the response I got back was, hello, and how are you? Now, as in my normal day-to-day life, that would have just been pretty much over with. I'm like, you know what? I ain't got time for this. But because of the friendship that my child's trying to have and just trying to be the bigger person, I responded because I guess I didn't give a proper hello according to that person, and went on to try to find out if it was okay, and then it was okay. That can be kind of hard, but I think that, and then there are people that I no longer am friends with that, you know, my kids are not rude to. Let me say that. So you have to still be the adult in the situation, because, I just because I don't like somebody's parent, but if I love their kid, I don't have a problem with their kid. I just don't like their parent. I don't take it out on the kid. I still try my best to be the bigger person and, kind of suck it up and be like, okay, a child is still welcome. I don't discriminate against that. You know what I mean? And, that's just kind of stuff that we just don't really talk about as parents. And it is a struggle. It can be a struggle, especially with teenagers, because, my daughter, she's 17. And I can't tell you how much drama girls have, which I already know because I was a girl at some point, teenage girl at some point. And, some of those friends that I spot of hers, I'm like, but I don't try to choose her friends for her. I do tell her what I think and how I think it's going to play out. And I'm sorry, I told you so mama. I will be like, I told you, child. I told you. Mama know what she's talking about. My son, he listens, but he has to see for himself. He's 22 now, but even before, when he was a teenager, he'd listen, and it was apparent that he was listening, and he would watch out for what I was saying, but he still waited and made the choice for himself. And that is something that I want them to be able to do. It's something you want your kids to be able to do. You want them to be able to make good decisions based on the information that is given to them, and to not automatically decide how they feel about someone based on someone else's feelings. Okay. Although we're their parents, and we do know best, 99% of the time we're right, but we want them to see why, and to understand it better. That doesn't mean that you don't put rules in place for your kid, because I definitely do them. Like, well, I don't care what they mama letting them do. I'm not doing this, Yes, definitely put rules in place. Don't let them have a free-for-all with the friend, but don't try to choose their friendships, okay? Because that's going to make them more adamant on being friends with this person, okay? And probably have you connected to this person longer than you want to have that. But anyway, so that's just my little tidbit. I just thought I would jump on for a second because it was on my mind for some reason. Maybe somebody needed that dialogue. Make sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel, Shay Cherie. Follow me on Instagram, Shay Cherie, and on Facebook it's under Memoirs of Imperfect Christian. Okay. All right, you guys, y'all have a great day. It is pretty outside. I'm going to get out and do some walking soon. I hope you guys are staying active too. All right. Bye.